You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a wonderful time and a wonderful day. You are, of course, here for the lovely prediction show. As well, I've got one handsome man in, or whatever. Thanks, Chris. The PayPal's just come through for saying, allow me to say that about myself. And of course, as I mentioned him, it'd be rude not to bring him into this week's prediction show. The ever reliable. It is, of course, the second best host of the channel, Chris. Chris, how are you doing, mate? It helps if I had you in.
I'll be the only host of the channel.
Well, that is, might go better. We don't know yet. We don't know how it goes. Chris, we're not talking prediction leagues just yet here, but I'm just going to ask you how you're doing in general.
Glad football's back, proper football. I was going to do the 2 international games, and I'm so glad I didn't. It's bad enough doing it on your own when it's like a 3-3 or something like that. But those games, I mean, I'm glad I didn't do them. I had them on in the background, and
I mean, I could understand not doing Malta. Nobody cares about England, Malta, but not seeing the 3 Lions take on the mighty European champion slayers that were North Macedonia. You missed out. My followers would have been in their droves for it, Chris, but there we go. It is international football done until March. It's in the bag until March. We've got a few months bug free of international pointless games and friendlies and whatnot, and back to the real jam, isn't it, Chris? The real football.
If I'd known you were that bothered, I'd have had you on to do the North Macedonia watch along with me.
Unfortunately, I probably wouldn't have known, Mark. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I don't have no more. No, I mean, I'll try that again. The North Macedonia merchandise is currently not real, so I wouldn't have had anything to wear for it. But maybe next time, Chris. Maybe next time.
I'll hold you to that.
Okay, well, we are here for the Prediction League, which is unfortunately still Steveless in the studio, but it is not Steveless for the show sponsor. As you can see it there, as my pen is trying to point out to you all. I can't go across to Chris's living room. He has to do the other half. There you go, look at that in tandem. It's like we rehearsed it before the show. Yeah. As you can see, it is still brought to you by Foxy 7 Clothing, which is in connection with Steve Lynex himself. And that is what you guys, well, not all of you, the ones in the league are playing for, because points apparently make prizes, and I wouldn't know anything about that. But the winner of the league will get his pick from a selection of varied items from Foxy 7 Clothing. And if you want to be an absolute legend and help them out, and you're not a part of the Predictions League, just go and check out the merch that's on there anyway. So, with that shameless plug out of the way, Chris, I'm going to save myself the heartache. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's rip it off, like a Band-Aid. Don't peel it off slowly and rip all my Legos off. Just rip it off like a Band-Aid. Let's show everybody the league table and keep the banner up. We don't need to... No! Oh, look!
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's
well,
enough.
I just want to note something there. With all these talks of corruptions and financial fair play rules being broken in the world, I just want to say, never in this lifetime will you ever have to deal with dirty shenanigans and brown envelopes in this league. Having said that, on a completely unrelated note, we do welcome Dave and Luke, two co-presenters, which conveniently mean we have two people new at the bottom,
Yes.
which just means in a few weeks' time it's more humiliation for me when I get enough points and overtake me because I'm doing so badly. Chris has done it for moral support. He says, I think he's really added them just to take the mick when they overtake me in a few weeks' time. But there we are.
I'm not going to deny, Brad. I have challenged them to catch you. So.
Well, it's not hard to do, mate. With the way I'm going at the moment, I'm.
You know what? I felt so bad for you because you've done so well in the last few seasons in the Premier League, and I felt so bad for you that I thought, you know what? I'll come down and join you down there. I'm dropping like Everton with a points deduction at the moment.
Well, yes, you certainly are. I mean, thankfully for yourself, it doesn't really ultimately matter because we're all in it for the fun, Chris. That's what we're doing. It. What we should do. Well, I certainly am. But at the moment, as we can see, our top three are gold, silver, and bronzes. Doug, despite having a bit of a shaky week, still out on top. But Steve Smart is closing that gap. And after a few shaky weeks, Jeff is hot on the tail. But the man to watch out for, the two men to watch out for are John and Shane O'Donnell, because both of them, now I'm just going back over my sheet here. Look, I'm all organised, folks. I will say this, Steve Smart got 3 results correct. So, Doug, watch your back, because he's scoring points like nobody's business. So did Nate as well, actually. I don't know where Nate is on the league. He's mid-table, so maybe he's making a late charge to the top 3. I don't know. Say it is early doors in the season, but minus 12 and downwards, the rest is looking pretty. We're all nearly on that 100-point mark, aren't we, Chris?
Do you know what? I mean, Nate's jumped above me. I can remember a few weeks ago, there's about 20 points between us. I mean, I just don't know what's happening. I don't understand what's going on here, as they say.
I don't know, but if you keep adding members to it, maybe I'll make the Great Escape just yet. We'll get us out the bottom 3. We'll have to make the bottom 3 the relegation, even though we won't do a relegation here because it'd get too confusing.
All I'm going to say, I just got to play this.
Well, I don't believe it.
It is. I don't know what's happening. I really do. I just want to keep you company, Brad. You know what it's like.
Yeah, I know. Now, tonight's show is a double header because we have the midweek games to go through. Now, we're going to go through the first game, week 17, as we usually would. Chris is going to ramble on and tell us all about the form and then tell me how wrong his predictions are. And I'm going to tell him what not to go for. But when it comes to week 2, guys, just so you are aware, because it's a double header, we don't want to keep you here till 4 o'clock in the morning because we would do if we did it for all of these shows. When it's double header, it's pretty much guesswork, Chris, isn't it? We didn't have too many of these in the Premier League, so it wasn't too bad. But it is all guesswork because you're trying to go off the results you just predicted and assuming all sorts of things. So I'm just going to quick fire around at Chris. A bit like Family Fortunes, when they give you 5 questions, but I'm just going to say the fixture. He's going to give me his score. So, without further ado, I'm also making a rule tonight, Chris. You're not allowed to know my prediction until you've locked yours in.
No.
I know. And don't worry, guys. He has given me his early prediction for tonight's game. He told me this yesterday in advance. He has gone 2-1 Leeds. Of course, the one time I thought Rotherham would get another beating off Leeds, and the last I knew it was currently 1-1. It may have changed. I don't know. But
surely that's a penalty to Leeds. Come on, Mr. Referee.
No, give it Rotherham. I'd rather Rotherham win than Leeds get it.
Oh, that was on the line. Now, if it's on the line, it's the penalty, surely.
It is if it's on the line.
No,
but right, anyway, eyes up front, class. Come on, teachers, class is in session. Come on, focus now.
Let's get rid of him, shall we?
I'll let you do that. Wait, swap me around. No, come on, big wig on the left, little wig on the right. He's going to kick me out again. I thought he'd kick me out again. Chris, obviously the Friday night game is well underway. at the moment, coming into the closing stages in that one. So we're going to go to, what game have you got on that lovely fixture list board of yours?
My first game up here is, after tonight's, Birmingham against Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, it's a good job I've got them written down so I can find it easy. Chris, we both hate Sheffield for the way they've treated the manager they had before the season even started. Birmingham somehow even worse. The NFL player that has a minority and Wayne Rooney. Is it ironic to kind of? Is it cruel of me to ask Wayne Rooney to get sacked before our game, just to kind of stick one up the Sky bigwigs who clearly moved our game to telly just for that reason?
No, I think it's very, very fair of you. And I would agree totally. I mean, I really, really hope that Birmingham fall out, like a dose of diarrhea out your underpants. I just think they are absolutely disgusting. We know why they've done it, because they've got people that are in there that have no idea how to run a football club. They were in just outside the playoffs when they were taken over, or they took on this. They sacked the last manager. They got this guy in, this quarterback who's worth billions or whatever from America. That obviously thinks, let's get a name in because that's what they do in America. Well, guess what? America have never won a World Cup. I wonder why. And I just think it's disgusting. And I think they get everything they deserve. That said, this is Sheffield Wednesday they're playing. But interestingly, Sheffield Wednesday have won only one of their last 6. They beat Rotherham 2-0, which was an important win for them. But then again, Birmingham have only won one, which was West Ham. No, it wasn't. It was West Brom. I saw the West, and I just said West Ham. West Brom. And in the form table, Birmingham are 21st, Sheffield Wednesday are 22nd. So I'm gonna start this off with a Desmond.
Wow. We have been having a countdown. We should be having side bets in the chat. What we should do before the chat is get people to guess how long it'll take Chris to go for it. But he's gone straight off the bat. And of course, my pen doesn't want to work. Why are you being an arse? I can't write anything right now. He's gone for a Desmond, which is why Chris is doing better than me in the league, because I have let my heart rule my head here. As much as I don't like the way Sheffield Wednesday have done things, I kind of just detest Birmingham. I mean, I've never heard of there's many a strange accent in the world, but why is it you feel like a Birmingham man could win a lottery and it sounds like he's just had his dog taken off him? I can't stand the accent. I think it's the most depressing accent in the world. And I want Wayne Rooney to get...
You got the Scouse accent, don't forget.
Well, there is that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, good point. But I kind of want some little Sky justice, because I know you mentioned it on the preview show. Guys, go and check out the preview show. After this, go and check it out, because I heard you mention about the Ipswich game getting moved to Boxing Day for telly and how that's screwing people over. Well, we know our game against Birmingham got moved to Sky because of Vardy and Rooney. We all know that's the only reason they've suddenly managed magically change the dates for them fixtures and put it on the telly. And I don't want Rooney in the dugout for that game. I want him sacked. So it'll be annoying for them, because nobody will care to watch it apart from Leicester and Birmingham fans. And I've gone 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday because I'm a moron.
Well, I originally was going to go, if I had to go for a winner, it would have been Birmingham. But no, I just no. They're both. I'd like to say Sheffield Wednesday win it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have nothing against Sheffield Wednesday. I quite like them. But I just think, I can just see this being, it'll either be goalless or it'll be like a 2-2.
Yeah.
So I've gone 2-2.
My worry is they got stuffed 4-0 by Millwall when they're at home. So me thinking they're going to win 3-0 away from home, I must have been on the cuckoo juice.
Where were you in the league?
Exactly where I deserve to be, mate. That's exactly where I deserve to be. Moving on Okay, moving on, Chris. Where are we going before I lose? Outrageous. John, I'm bottom. I need to be outrageous.
Yeah.
Um,
We are going to Bristol City, where they are hosting Middlesbrough.
ooh, yes, that is right underneath the game I have. It's not in the order I have it, but it works for me.
Now-
Bristol City versus Middlesbrough. Oh dear.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't like Bristol City because they had a disagreement with he who must always be revered, Mr. Pearson.
Yes.
But Middlesbrough are fourth. They've only lost 1 in 6, and that was a surprise loss to Stoke. They obviously had that. And we'll forget the Sunderland game because that's a derby, and that just you can't base it on that. To be honest with you, Bristol City. Middlesbrough, sorry, are fourth in the prediction league. What am I saying? In the form league. Bristol City. Funny enough, since they've sacked, they've actually had a draw against QPR, but they should have really won that. And they beat Sheffield Wednesday, the aforementioned Sheffield Wednesday. But they are down in 15th. So, who do I think is going to get that? Bristol.
I'm trying to. Folks, if I just channel in my inner connection, he'll probably go for the same score as what I've gone for, and then he'll curse himself.
See, Middlesbrough, they do score goals. Bristol.
Don't make me play the countdown timer.
I'm going to go. I am actually, despite my better judgment, because I had some ideas of what I wanted to go for. I'm going to go 1-0 to Middlesbrough. So 0-1 for on that one.
Oh dear, Christopher.
Oh no,
because I've got Middlesbrough scoring a goal. I've got them scoring 1 goal as well.
Please tell me you've got Bristol City getting an equaliser.
I have indeed. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. So you've escaped the match. Yeah, you've escaped the match. So don't worry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I still sour grapes about the fact that Middlesbrough beat us, and I saw it coming from the free kick. But I just Bristol at home. I think they've got a chance. They are an awkward side. They were awkward to play against when they came to us. So yeah, I just went 1-1. I just got a feeling.
Well,
it will be a close game. So what should be wrong? Well done, Middlesbrough, on your 3 points.
Enjoyed the feeling.
Oh yeah, as long as I believe it, it's like make a wish happen, isn't it?
Yeah, this is true. Right, next up in the blocks, Huddersfield hosting Southampton.
Huddersfield are on my list. This is a team that's not really done much since they sacked Neil Warnock. I'd actually say that they're running for results. They're probably doing worse than before they got rid of Warnock, which doesn't surprise me an awful lot because it's hard to change things, not mid-season, but it's hard to change things when a manager's maybe brought players in, kept players on board, got them working a certain way. I don't know what this Darren Moore's tactics are. But they're up against the Southampton side, who are, well, if we really think about how bad they were last season, because they were terrible last season in the Premiership. We know that, Chris. We all know that. They're probably proving why they were the 3rd favourites to go up out of us and Leeds, respectively, because they are a bit disjointed. But it is Huddersfield, who you're now going to tell me are probably 11th on form when I'm talking out my arse, but are not having the greatest season. They're not doing too well. Southampton for the big away win, Chris, or what's your statistics telling you to do?
I want to know what your score is before I tell you the
Well, you can't. Yeah, no, you're banned from knowing my score.
No, this is cheating because you can change yours then, you see.
No, I can't. Mine's in the group chat. I've told you. I can't. I always
forget that. Yes, I do forget that. Well,
I'm locked in.
Huddersfield are 19th in the form table.
Oh, at least I got that right.
Yeah,
I'll give myself a point for that in the league.
They've only won 1 in 6, and that was against Queen's Park Rangers. And to be honest with you, when you look at QPR team, when if you don't beat them, you're disappointed. And we would have been, wouldn't we?
Well, yeah.
So Huddersfield beat QPR. They've lost 4-0 Cardiff, 4-1 Leeds. They drew 0-0 with Watford. and they lost 1-0 to Hull. Now, Southampton, they're up in third in the form table. They haven't lost in 6. They have got a couple of draws in there, but they stuffed Birmingham 3-1, 1-0 Millwall, 3-1 West Brom, and they beat Hull. It's an away win all the way for me, and it's not going to be very hard. In fact, I got to agree totally with John here. I'm agreeing 100% with you, John. I have gone 3-1 to the Saints, as indeed you have. So Huddersfield 1, Southampton 3 for me.
You've gone Huddersfield 1. And if I could sort the paper out, fold up, give me a minute. It's not even technical issues. It's just
no, it's not. No, you'll be kicking yourself. You went 4-0 tonight. Apparently, you'd gone 4-1.
Really?
No, I'm winding you up. It's 1 also.
I'll take that over that happening. I'll cry. I'd leave. I'd leave the show. I'd text you my results. I'd leave. Well, you've gone 3-1, Chris.
Yes. You haven't.
I've gone Huddersfield 1. And I've got I've got a 3 in there somewhere.
But it's a win. One, have you?
No. It's for a 3-goal margin win. I have gone Huddersfield 1, Southampton 4.
Oh, fair dues. And that wouldn't surprise me. I think Southampton, they've had a blip because they started off reasonably well. They had a blip, but they've come back. I think we've had our blip as well. And hopefully that's it over for us. Every team's going to have a blip, if not 2 or 3. I can't see anything other than an away win for the Saints.
Yeah, so you know what happens in this division, don't you? I'm going to check the group chat afterwards. I'm going to see that Doug's gone 2-0 to Huddersfield, and they're going to win now.
I just want Luke and Dave to get more points than you.
I'll cry. I'll quit. I'll leave.
They're not going to catch you up, but just to get more points. Mind you, if they get more points,
at this rate, if the women's league had more teams in it or played each other more than twice, they'd have more chance of getting more points than I've got this season, and that's saying anything.
Good result for them in the cup.
Yes, a fantastic result. Undefeated in the League Cup group stages at the moment. They beat Liverpool in the first game. They got the draw and the bonus point. It is done like the Papa John's trophy. Yes, they get a bonus point. They go to penalties like the EFL trophy. So they were 2-0 up against Man City, but Man City pulled back level. And then they did a Zoka, they did a Kalik, but Yanina's a good goalkeeper. So the reverse Kalik, if you will.
Penalties, didn't she?
Yes, they subbed her on in the 93rd minute. She went on for penalties and she saved 3 of them. Leicester won the game on penalties, and that was a fantastic result for them. And if you go and check out LTI TV 2 and subscribe and like that video, I will organise it with Chris over the weekend, but I will be setting up a complete roundup of all the games that have happened over the last few weeks to catch up to date with it, because I will be able to do videos now because I'm back in Leicester, if you haven't realised, with the decor behind me. I'm back home. I'm back in Manchester, should I say.
I was just going to say,
I moved.
Like Manchester.
I know. So I'm all set. I'm all set. I'm all ready. I'm all free to be able to do some videos. So I'll do a lovely WSL roundup of all the results from the last time I did one.
They got 3 points for the win and then an extra point because they won on the penalties. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I thought it was a point and then an extra point for winning the penalty shootouts, but the Leicester women's did tweet saying a win and a bonus point. So I'd have to check the league table for it. But now
against Spurs either, was it?
No, it wasn't. In fact, they were very unfortunate not to pick up all 3. In fact, at half time against Arsenal as well, until it all fell apart in the second half. But when Arsenal have about 30 internationals in the side, and you've had to re-strengthen, losing 6-2.
I was surprised at that because when I was watching it, I watched a little bit of the start. It was all Arsenal. But look, that's a game that you'd probably say on paper, it's a gimme anyway, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also that was the first time Leicester had scored against Arsenal since they've been in the WSL. They hadn't scored past them, so they probably got a little bit giddy. They probably got a little bit fair, and it happens. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not supposed to be competing for the title. They have 8 points, which is far more than they had at this stage of last season. So it's on to them. But thanks for that shameless plug for a couple of minutes. Let us move on to the next game that I'm going to get wrong.
Indeed. Well, it's Leicester versus Watford, so I guess we're leaving that.
Yeah, we'll skip that. We'll make people wait for that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that at the end. So we get on to another one of your favourite teams, Millwall hosting Coventry.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, yay.
Well, Millwall are in 16th in the form table. They've lost 2 of the last 6, so they did win last time out, sticking 4 past Sheffield Wednesday, which is why anybody would then go for Sheffield Wednesday to score 4. Who knows? But there you go. They beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. They lost to Southampton by a single goal. They lost to Blackburn 2-1. They drew with Watford, drew with Preston and drew with Hull. So they've only won 1 of the last 6, and it was against, like I say, Sheffield Wednesday. They're up against the Coventry side, who are struggling. But that said, I can't find them now. Where's Coventry gone?
Keep looking down.
I was going to say, have they gone out? Have they gone out of the league altogether?
Are they about 13?
Oh my God, they're 23rd in the form table. Jesus.
Yeah, they're having a horror run under Mark McGee. Two. I meant Mark Robbins. Sorry, I said a horrible name there. I said a horrible, disgusting name.
I like Mark Robbins. I feel a little bit sorry for him, but 2 draws in the last 6 games. I mean, they've got 2 points out of a possible 18. That is relegation form. That is not. And I was just talking about this because we've just done the preview show. Like I say, do go and check it out. When we finished here, a preview go for the Watford game. The Watford fan didn't turn up, so me and Craig just pulled them to bits. No, we didn't. But when we lost in that famous Dini, hang on, Leeds, no. Leeds, no.
Leeds, no.
Leeds, yeah. When we lost in that, the way we responded the following season was to go and smash every record that we had as a club, and I think losing that actually did us a favour because, I think we'd have gone up too soon. I think Watford lost to Palace apparently in the final. I think it was Blackpool, but they said it was Palace. Craig,
Palace, yeah.
I think we, basically it did us a favour losing that game because they came back the next season. Coventry, now they'd got through to the final and lost it. My God, they've lost it completely. They not only they lost the plot, they've put it on a ship and it's gone over to Australia, I think, because I don't know what's happening with Coventry. I always think of Coventry as our biggest rival, so I'm not sorry to see them down there, but I am surprised. I did have them at the start to be one of my teams to be in the playoffs, but I'm sorry, this is going to be a Millwall 1, Coventry 0.
You've gone for a 1-0 win to Millwall. It's funny you mentioned the Leicester-Watford scenarios because, like you said, Leicester that season went on to go up and smash records the following season. Watford actually had a very similar season to Coventry are having at the moment. They really struggled. They nearly got relegated. They were right down near the bottom whilst we soared to the top. Now, obviously, Coventry lost to Luton, so you can't have that comparison in the fact that Luton, because they're in the Premier League, but Coventry also struggling and stuttering. And I nearly went 1-0 Coventry. You'd be thankful to know that I said nearly, so that means I haven't gone 1-0 Coventry. But I have gone for another draw.
It would not have surprised me.
Well, you have no need to be surprised because I have settled on a 1-1 draw. I think I have a soft spot for Coventry, as you know, because my mum's a Coventry fan. Because at least she has the decency to support where she comes from. I know, I didn't think you'd cheer my mum being a Cov fan, but it's lovely to see, Chris.
No,
So,
just say hello to your mum. Tell her it's been a while.
wait, what? Hold on, we need to have words.
Is she still getting the checks?
Well, yeah, it's slowly in the post, she says. She says you need to stop sending them by carrier pigeon.
Ah.
Yeah. But I think I took Coventry's form into consideration and nearly did go for a Millwall win, but then I threw up thinking of the idea of Millwall winning the game, so I went for a draw.
Yeah. Well, John has got great taste because he's agreed with me and gone, or I've agreed with him.
I know you don't want to copy my own work, but are you copying John's?
Gone 1-0. And he asked, is Millwall a town or a city? I'm guessing it's a town because it's definitely not a city. I don't think
it's
London.
It's East London, isn't it? So
it's a borough. Is it a borough? I don't know.
Well, you've got East Ham is where West Ham. It was weird because it's technically where West Ham were bridged from, weren't they? So you've got, I suppose it is a village or something like that, isn't it? Anyway, it's not a quiz. It's not a quiz. It's the wrong channel for the quiz. But next on the list, Chris, because our lists are all different.
Is Norwich versus QPR.
Man in danger, Chris, was I nearly called him Nigel Farage. He is a man in danger. He's the most toxic thing in the jungle, apart from the venomous snakes. What's his name, the manager? The one who looks like a substitute maths teacher. Wagner, that's it. Wagner, yeah. Norwich's manager, was in trouble. A few weeks ago, they played Blackburn at home and he got rigorously booed. The style of football was not suiting. There was talks that was his job gone. He somehow managed to keep it. Found a little bit of form, and they're playing QPR at home. No disrespect to QPR in the slightest, but right now they are the team that you kind of maybe want to be playing, isn't it, Chris, given how badly a season they're having? Is this a nailed-on home win? Or are you going to throw a Brad into the works? Because I'm a bit of a spanner. And go for a different result.
What's this bit shit? I've actually just changed my mind because QPR...
Someone get the investigation underway. Match fixing.
No, I've not said it yet, so I'm allowed to. Look, QPR, bottom of the form table. They may actually even be bottom of the league. Let me expand.
Oh, I still think Sheffield Wednesday hold that title.
No, they are. You're right, Sheffield Wednesday. But QPR are 23rd. Now, but they are bottom of the form league based on the last 6 games. But they have drawn the last 2. Drawn with Bristol and drawn with Rotherham. A 1-1 and a 0-0. Should have gone to Specsavers. Norwich, they're down there in 20th. They are struggling. They really are. They managed to somehow beat Cardiff 3-2 last time out. But before that, they'd lost to Blackburn, lost to Sunderland, lost to Middlesbrough, and lost to Leeds. It's always by the odd goal.
May I just say that buggered up a lot of people getting points, myself included and you, because most of us went for a Cardiff win. And I think Anthony skillfully predicted the score right, but he went 3-2 Cardiff. I just thought I'd throw that. I thought I'd throw a bit of shade at Anthony because he keeps moaning that he has us in the league table and he never turns up to watch the show at the start when I tell him to. Sorry, Anthony.
I've gone back to my original because I went 1-0 Norwich. Then I thought, no, it might be a draw. QPR might get a draw, but looking at Norwich, even when they've lost Norwich, they've not been losing by great scores. So I've gone 1-0 Norwich. I'm going to stick with 1-0 Norwich.
He's going for a 1-0 Norwich. Well, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh, you're going to have to agree with me at one game, to be honest with you, mate.
Well, I have agreed with you. You're right. I have gone for a Norwich win. That's the bad news for you. The good news is...
Bad luck, Norwich.
Yeah. Sorry, Norwich. The good news is if Norwich go 1-0 up, you'll be praying and hoping that they don't score any more because I've gone for Norwich to win by 2 goals to 0. That's where I've gone.
John, all the best, mate. Thanks for popping in. Take care. Whose homework can I copy now? Bloody hell.
I know. You need someone like Doug to come on or Jeff to be on and
Can I just
save
say,
you.
I've just had a text message from David Wagner. He said, "What the fuck has he gone for us to win for?"
He said, you know what? He's just messaged me. That's why I had my finger in the way of the screen. I pulled down. There's a message. It said, "Fuck's sake, Brad. Thanks." So that's my P45.
Yeah, I know. Thing is, he's not wrong, is he?
Well, no, that's he's not. He's really not. It's really not. Although it would be ironic, wouldn't it? We played QPR. Their manager got sacked for losing to us. It'd be funny if QPR do win and he gets sacked.
Yes.
Anyway, next.
It's your favourite team. Well, you love the pasties, Plymouth, and they are hosting Sunderland. Now, Plymouth, they started off quite well. I'd got Plymouth to go down. I thought they would struggle. In the last 6, though, the form has been a little bit off. Yes, they got a draw with Middlesbrough, a 3-3. But Middlesbrough should have won that, according to the Middlesbrough fan. And they got a 0-0 with West Brom. They beat Sheffield Wednesday, but again, who hasn't? But they have lost to Swansea, Ipswich, and Leeds. Where Sunderland have only won 2 of their last 6, which was Norwich and Birmingham, and they drew Swansea. So they're not lost in 3, but the 3 before that, including Leicester, they have lost to. Why did you have to go, John? No, I'm going to go. It's a low-scoring week, and as I'm looking at the form table here, the interesting thing is that there's very few teams that have actually got good runs together. Now, once you get out of the top 6
Come
or
on,
7...
stop waiting for someone to predict a score so you can copy the homework. Come on.
No, I am going to go Plymouth, Argyle, because I like the pasties, and I'm going to give them 1. And I'm going to go Sunderland. Come on, somebody put the score up. I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland.
Oh, he's gone 2-1 Sunderland. I mean, all joking aside, you are pretty correct with the way form guides are going. You know, even teams that are on good form are still probably recovering from results previous. Later there with Plymouth, I mean, Ipswich, Swansea and Leeds. All right, maybe Swansea, but for a newly promoted side, you look at where they are in the league, Ipswich. And, I mean, yes, you would say on paper they came up with you should probably not lose to Ipswich, but they're second in the league, joint first technically if you want to big them up a bit. Leeds are obviously trying to get hot on our tails, although they're having a stumble against Rotherham. Come on, Rotherham.
On Leeds.
No, sod them. Sod the predictions league. Come on, Rotherham. You know.
Oh.
Why do you want the goal? Anyway, you know, as you say, Chris, sometimes I sit here and I ponder the question: how am I doing so badly in this championship prediction? How is the 2-time Premier League prediction champion doing so well in the lower division? And then I look at what I predicted for this game, and considering not a lot of goals are going in around it, I've gone for, now, make sure you're not trying to have a drink here. If you've got a drink, swallow the drink, put it down. If you're holding anything vital and valuable, put it down because you might drop it when you hear my score prediction here. I've gone Plymouth 4, Sunderland 2.
I actually was in my mind, I thought you're going to go 4-0 Plymouth here.
Not quite. Not quite that bad, but yeah, when times are desperate, go big or go home, as people would say. So I've gone 4-2.
I mean, in fairness, they have scored 10 goals in the last 6 games, but they have conceded 11. Plymouth.
Oh well, it's time to balance that out and score more than they concede. There you go. That's why it's happening. Up the Plymouth. Points make pasties, and I'll teach Plymouth how to make a pasty in times gone by if they win 4-2. Right, we've got 4 games left of this week before we do the Russian roulette round with you, Chris.
Well, no, got 5 because we're going to go back.
Well, yeah, Leicester, Watford. Sorry. So who's left next on the agenda?
Preston versus Cardiff.
Preston, Cardiff. Yes, I don't have to do an awkward right. Well, Preston have been free falling, haven't they, Chris? They had for like the 3rd season in a row. They had a blistering start. They were top of league at one point. Now they're falling off like I don't know, nobody's business. But then they had a big win before the international break, didn't they? They beat Blackburn with a late goal 2-1. Again, costing people points. I'm not envious, but they are playing a Cardiff side who I put them in the same bracket as Stoke. If you could, and Millwall. If you could name a division after a set of clubs, they would Cardiff, Stoke, and Millwall stink out this division because they don't do anything good enough to get out of it, and they don't play bad enough to go down. And they just sort of
many years though.
Well, yeah. You could say that, but we were a bit like yo-yo. We did yo-yoing before yo-yoing was cool. Sorry, West Brom fans, but it's true. But Preston at home to Cardiff. I mean, surely Preston are a bit of a difficult side to predict this season. Well, for me, any team is, but for someone who's actually doing okay in the league, Preston are probably
a word said.
I know. Might as well own it, mightn't I, for what it's worth. Preston, Cardiff, Chris, where are you going with it? What's the form guide?
There's not a piece of toilet paper between them. Cardiff are in the 11th in the form table. They've won 2 in the last 6, 4-0 against Huddersfield, 2-0 against Bristol. Lost last time out to Norwich, as we said, 3-2. Preston, meanwhile, are 12th in the prediction league, so 1 place underneath them. Both got.
Don't put them in. Stop putting teams in the prediction league. I'm low enough down as it is.
Sorry. Well, they've got more points than you.
Oi, all right, yeah, okay.
Sorry, mate.
Right, that's minus 10 points deduction for Chris for unfair comment rules.
I have to double check when you send me the points through. I have to double check them.
Oh God, don't.
We'll move on from that quickly. Nobody.
Would you believe I got a B in maths? Because you wouldn't with some of the calculations I give you. The amount of mistakes I made.
Okay, Cardiff. So the Cardiff are in the 11th in the form table. Preston are 12th. They both got 8 points. Preston have won the last 2. Cardiff have drawn and lost, but they did win the 2 before that. I'm going to go 1-1.
Well, we've had a Desmond off here, but this is the first draw since then.
It is.
So he can't separate the 2, and I can't get ink out of my pen. Good old. Every time I write yours in, it's like it's. I know, right? It's just my life, mate. I can't get anything to work these days.
I sent something through to Dave earlier. Here's me details for next week. He goes, "Oh, look at you, Mr. Organised." I said, "No, look at me, Mr. Got No Life."
Well, you said it, not me. So you'll be happy to know that I haven't gone for a draw. I've started paying attention to things. Check me out, actually worrying about my league position and wanting to do something about it. But I've gone for a home win to Preston because I just think they're going to hold the edge over it. 3 points to Chris then.
No, he's offside. Fuck off.
Yeah! Lino, take the check. Lino, take my check.
89th bloody minute.
We love you, Rotherham.
When you need it.
Are you watching? Are you watching? Are you watching Gorinda? Are you watching Gorinda?
Round in the referee. Let's just have a look at this before we go any further.
Rotherham.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, I'm not watching it, but from here it looks offside.
The guy that scored wasn't. But I think a guy touched it just before then. If that was VAR, they'd still be looking at that tomorrow. That's how close.
Well, that is true. But
5
The
minutes.
famous
Come on.
Rotherham, and they're going to get a point. Rotherham.
In fairness, right? The fact that there's no VAR, because that was happening in the Burnley-Bournemouth game, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
There was a team on top, which was Burnley, at the end, and it took that long to rule the goal out that the momentum had gone. But
Yeah, it is. It's a proper momentum killer. I hope some rule changes come in soon rather than later, before we get back up there, hopefully. So, it'd be nice.
Anyway, so I've gone 1-1. What have you gone for?
I want 2-0 Preston.
Okay. Another one of your favourite teams, Stoke, are at home to Blackburn.
Yeah. Blackburn, until they lost to Preston, were on a little bit of a boost of form. They've got a Schematics who looks a fantastic player. I would not be surprised, Chris, if in January teams are sniffing around him. Saying that, I don't know Blackburn's financial situation. I don't think they're a dare to sell him. I mean, I don't know his contract situation. I don't know anything too much like that. But he's a player. He's a one to watch, if you will. That's a little bit of a FIFA reference if those who play FIFA are ones to watch. He's very good. He's scoring the brunt of their goals. Technically, he's a midfielder, not a striker, although he has been playing that striking role for them. Interesting. Stoke are just doing Stoke things. They're just boring. I can't talk about Stoke. It drives me nuts. It drives me potty. See what I did there?
Yay!
Anyway, I'm not just a pretty face. I mean, I wish I was that to start off with, but I can't even make. I make bad jokes as well. Stoke at home. Can Blackburn do it on a Saturday afternoon in Stoke? Because you can't say midweek, because I'm not playing them midweek, which is disappointing. Stoke Blackburn. What's the form saying? And more importantly, Chris, where are you going with it?
I don't know where I'm going with it, to be honest with you, because Blackburn
don't go 2-2.
Blackburn Rovers are 6th in the prediction league. No, they're not.
Are they?
They're 6th in the form table. Stokes, we're doing the prediction show. Come on, this is sloppy seconds for me. Blackburn Rovers are 6th in the form table. Stoke are 8th in the form table. Guess who's 7th?
Is it by any chance Blackburn?
No, Blackburn are 6th.
Yeah, so is it Stoke? I know what I meant.
No. Me speak English. Right. Blackburn Rovers are 6th in the form table.
Yeah, so 7th is Stoke.
City are 8th in the form table. So who is 7th?
Leicester.
Yes, we are. So
right, lucky number 7.
God, that took about that pulling for.
I know, right? Sorry, it's not like I'll edit it out. Don't worry.
So Blackburn are 6th, Stoke are 8th, we are 7th. Stoke haven't lost in 5, but they did lose 6. But Blackburn have lost the last couple, and it's at Stoke. I was tempted for a draw, but I'm going to go 1-0 Stoke.
Oh, Chris. Because I've got 1-0. I've got 1-0.
You've got 1-0 to Blackburn.
Yeah, you're correct. You are. Spoil it. I was trying to build it up for suspense. Got to help you with that. You know, spoiler alerts. Yeah.
I can read your face now. You see.
Well, that's more than others can. It's an ugly read. Right, we've got 2 to go before the Leicester game, and then we're going to play. For those that are new to Predictions League, when we're doing midweek 1, we are 3 away from doing Russian roulette, because that's going to be fast paced for us all.
Right.
Where are we at?
We are at Swansea. Welsh Swansea are hosting Hull.
No, I've just had a notification. I'll let you find out. Swansea at home to Hull. Swansea are probably
full time, is it?
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. You can't ban me from this show. You didn't put a watch along or spoilers warning.
You're going to have to wait then, because it's 94 minutes and 50 seconds.
Well, I can tell you that Swansea and Hull are probably the 2 most evenly matched teams, it feels like here. In the sense that they both seem to just win random games and then lose games they probably shouldn't have, or drop points against teams that they haven't. having said that, although Swansea lost before the international break, they were 3-1 down against Ipswich, but they were also down to 10 men, and the game ended 3-2. So I couldn't decide which team to go for. I'm going to give you a little hint in hand here because you're watching the game now. You're probably not listening to what I'm saying, are you? Chris Kamara. It's been a red card, but for whom? We've lost him, folks. We've lost him.
It's a free kick to Rotherham. I'm thinking Rotherham are going to score here.
Well, Swansea versus Hull. Give me a score prediction. Come on, we'll fire through it.
No, it's gone all the way over. It's full time. It's 1-1.
Yes, I knew that beforehand. So we're off to a great start, mate. No points for the week so far.
But in a way, the good thing
Good
is
result for Leicester.
It is, exactly. Okay, Swansea Hull. Is that what we're talking about? Yes, it is,
Yes.
Isn't it? Hull are in 10th in the form guide. They've won 3 of the last 6, including last time out against Huddersfield. They beat Preston and Birmingham as well, but they've lost West Brom and Southampton. Swansea, meanwhile, are in 13th. They've won 2 of the last 6, but they did lose last time out to Ipswich 3-2. Ooh.
Swansea were, I did say, Chris, Swansea were 3-1 down in that game to Ipswich and down to 10 men. So they nearly made a comeback with 10 men.
Yes. 1-1.
This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Because if you were paying attention and not watching a Rotherham free kick, you would have heard me said I couldn't pick between these two sides. I didn't say my score prediction.
The excitement of you, if you've gone for the same score as me, that is the highlight of your week. It's not getting any points in the prediction.
No, Chris, I have gone Swansea. I'll do it in my best professional voice. Classified results, Brad's predictions. Swansea City 1, Hull City 1. We've finally agreed. I thought we were going to go the one whole game week without agreeing on results, but we got there in the end. Swansea versus Hull. That's a show, folks. I'm happy with proceedings. Let's see if we can make it 2 in a row, Chris. We've got West Brom at home to Ipswich.
Your excitement at just agreeing with me for one.
Oh, I know. It's just because it fills me with such joy to know that you now know you're not getting any points for Swansea Hull.
You didn't cheer that loud when we won the FA Cup.
Well, I probably didn't. I was probably too drunk to cheer that loud.
Yeah. Okay. We've got West Brom.
No, we've not. Yeah, we have. I was joking because you said we've got West Brom as in Leicester. I was like, no, we're not. West Brom Ipswich.
West Brom Ipswich. Yes, go on then.
Well, after Rotherham, the mighty Rotherham, the anti-Gurinder FC that they are, have wobbled Leeds United. Ipswich, chasing us down at the top. Behind us only on goal difference, our superior goal difference, keeping us in front. Although they struggled to beat 10 men Swansea, given that they're playing against West Bromwich Albion. It is at West Brom. Now, I may or may not have let my heart roll my head here. I may have thrown all the common sense that I do every week out the window. But, Chris...
common sense.
Exactly. What's the form god saying? And more importantly, what are you saying?
Well, Ipswich, second in the form table. They've not lost in 6. They've drawn 2, which they probably regret, because if they'd actually won those, they'd be well ahead of us now. They did beat Swansea last time out 3-2. West Brom, I just really don't know what to do about West Brom, because they're kind of what I would call a meh team. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, they're not sort of really, I've not noticed them up near the top. They've not been anywhere near the bottom, in fairness. But they've also, they're just kind of, they're like a bottom feeder. The thing is that they're just there under the sort of, top 7 or 8 every week. Unfortunately for Leicester, it's going to be bad news because I have gone for a 3-2 Ipswich win.
Ooh, you've gone goals, goals, goals. There isn't yet to be a bore on ITV4 predicted by either of us. And of course, this fixture is written on the. Give me a second. I'm going to have to come off camera a second because I writ this fixture where it's on the crevice of where I folded it over. So I'm trying desperately to write your. Can I? Oh.
Writing it's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, West Brom 2-3. I'll write it there just in. No, I can get it. No, I can't. I can't get the 3 written in. I've got yours. Ipswich switch 3-2. I just had to write it at the side because it's where I folded my paper in half. It just won't work. Anyway. I have let my heart rule my head, so you can already start to cheer and relax, Chris, because I think we're going to start seeing certain teams slip up. Now we've already had the mighty Rotherham help Leeds slip just a little bit because now I'm not counting my chickens before they've hatched, as the expression is. But should Leicester recover from 2 back-to-back defeats tomorrow against the team we're going to talk about next after this one, they would go back to being 10 points clear, I believe, of third place Leeds. That may depend on other results. I don't know who's fourth and how close they are to Leeds. But assuming that's the case, we'll go back to putting Leeds fans back in the place. Because remember when we lost them, they were giving it the big and saying they're going to catch us up and we're just a purple patch team who are breaking records for a purple patch. So it'd be really good if we could do that. And I kind of getting a little bit sick of Ipswich, really, being up our rear end. I want them to start dropping points. And for that reason, even though I don't really like West Brom, I'm proving furthermore why I'm bottom of the Predictions League. Well, not anymore, but third bottom in the Predictions League, may I say.
You bottom until they've got the first result.
No, it still counts, doesn't matter. Them the rules, I'm afraid. Look, league table will show that I'm not bottom. I've gone well outside the realms of probability, and I've gone 3-0 West Brom.
Wow.
If Rotherham could draw with Leeds.
Sorry, I thought you said there that you'd gone 3-0 to West Brom.
I did. I gave them a goal for each one of their abbreviations. I gave them. So if you've gone for West Brom to win on your betting slip, not that we endorse gambling. If you do gamble, please gamble responsibly. Or you've gone for West Brom to win in the Predictions League, I'm sorry in advance. Oh, we are nearly through game week 17. We saved the best team.
Just to say that if Ipswich were to win, whilst they would be 10 points clear of Leeds United, if Southampton win, Southampton would go above Leeds United, and Ipswich would be 9 points ahead of Southampton, if that was to be the case.
Okay. So we'd still end up being 9 or 10 points clear.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll take. You know what? I'll take that.
But Ipswich will win. I'm sorry, you're wrong. I don't want them to, obviously, but I think they will.
Yeah. I tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. I'll get no points for the rest of it, apart from the Leicester one. That's going to be a standard one for us all. And then the only other point I'll pick up is the 1 point I get for the West Brom win. There you go, sorted. I'll sign it over. Anyway,
I'm going to just change the rules slightly here now, because it's the Leicester game. You can go first. Okay,
that I will agree to. It is the best till last. We've saved the. I'm hoping I'm going to get this right with my years. The 2013-14 playoff. No, 2012-13 playoff semi-final game, wasn't it? Was it 2012-13?
I think it was.
Well, yeah. So it's been a revenge mission ever since. We've been fairly successful over Watford. I still remember Kante's one and only goal for Leicester was a Aurelio Gomez howler.
Yeah.
I still remember that. How that went in, I don't know. I'm going to get this out of the way. I can't go against my team. I think we need to. I think we actually, for the first time, the pressure's on Leicester to win. I know we've said it before when we played Rotherhams and teams like that, but I think this is genuinely the first time that fans are going to say, okay, Maresca, show us what you can do. You need to bounce back here. Maybe having the international break for the first time in Leicester's time, it was a needed international break. And I've gone Leicester 3, Watford 1.
Good. Okay. So, do we worry about Leicester? I mean, we've lost 3. That said, there's really we've lost the same as Leeds, but we've only Ipswich that have lost less than us.
But we don't draw games. Yeah. That's our difference.
Yeah. Tuvawante says 2-2. We only need 1 point for 40-point safety. That is true. That is very true. I kind of think we are a victim of our own success, and I've said that a lot this season. I think the fact that we have done so well is almost causing us a problem, because when we have normally if we lose 2 on a trot, is it the end of the world? No, it's not.
No,
it's
it's not.
We're not going to do a League One here, because it's like when we went down to League One and I think we only lost 5 or 6 or even less during that season. It's a harder division. But I can't go against my team, though, and I hate Watford. And I hate Watford.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, no, I am. I hate them, and nothing against the fans or anything like that. I obviously I hate them for the way that they knocked us out, but fair play to them. They did knock us out, and our paths have gone slightly different ways since then. Also, I don't like them for what they do to the managers all the time. So I have gone 1 goal to Watford.
Oh, you've gone 2-1, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
See, I can read your face, mate. Even though I'm not looking at it, I can read your face. Right then, folks. Well, this is where the show kind of goes at a fast pace. Don't worry, we're not going to keep you here till midnight. So just a reflection so that you can keep your keen eye on his points over here, guys. I'm going to read them in the order that I got them. Me and Chris got no points for Rotherham game because I went 4-0 leads. He went 2-1 leads. We've agreed. We agreed on the Swansea game and Hull because we both went 1-1. Leicester, you've just heard, I went 3-1. Chris gone 2-1. Plymouth, Sunderland, I went 4-2. Chris went 2-1 to Sunderland. Birmingham are going to lose Sheffield Wednesday 3-0, but Chris reckons it's a 2-2 draw. I've gone for a 1-1 against Bristol and Middlesbrough. Chris went 1-0 Middlesbrough. Norwich, I've gone 2-0 to beat QPR, whilst Chris has gone 1-0. Stoke, I've gone 1-0 Blackburn. Chris has gone 1-0 Stoke. So, I'm sorry, Blackburn. Preston, Chris has gone for a 1-1 draw. I've gone 2-0 Preston. Huddersfield, I've gone 4-1 to Southampton because that's who they're playing against. And Chris has gone for 1 less goal. He's gone 3-1 Southampton. Millwall versus Coventry, I've gone for a 1-1. Chris has gone 1-0 Millwall. West Brom versus Ipswich. Chris went for a 3-2 win to Ipswich and I lost my mind. I went 3-0 West Brom. Now for the fun part of the show, and this is going to become, I can't say a regular thing, but it's going to become something that we do during this part, because this is a double header, of course. We also have to take into account the midweek games. So to make it easier for myself, apologies that this beautiful face here is going to have to disappear so I can hold my notepad and write them down. Now, I do apologise, Chris, but until I get a stand for my phone, I can't do both to do it this way for the midweek ones. But you get one handsome man on screen and one handsome man off screen. I'm basically going to Russian roulette, shall we say, these fixtures here. I know Chris has got them all there in the order here, but we're going to go off the order I've got them in
Go
to
through
make
your
it
order,
easier.
yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, just to make it easier. I'm basically going to tell Chris the first fixture. I'm going to say who they're playing, ask him for a score. He's going to tell him, and I'll tell him mine so he knows, so he can write them down as well.
Yeah.
So, Chris, we would say lights, camera, action.
Obviously, we'll do Tuesdays first, and then let me know at the end, and I'll change the graphic for Wednesday.
Yes, I believe, because I trust the people in the group chat that they've done them off the BBC. So I do believe these are in order. So if I do, let me go off the camera so it makes it easier for myself.
Everybody will have different orders, so it doesn't matter, mate. Just read them out as you've got them there.
Yes. Okay. So, as my order says here, Cardiff are at home to West Brom.
Ooh, 1-1.
I went 2-1 West Brom.
Okay.
Next on the list, Coventry are at home to Plymouth.
Oh, 0-0.
He's gone for the boring ITV4. I went 1-0 Coventry. Hull City versus Grinda FC. That's Rotherham, just to confirm.
Rotherham did well tonight, didn't they?
They certainly did.
1-1 again. I'm going to have to go for another draw.
Wow, he's 3 draws on the trot. Okay, next up on the list is Middlesbrough at home to Preston North End.
Middlesbrough at home. I'm going to go 2-0 Middlesbrough. 2-0
Middlesbrough. Just to confirm, I went 3-0 to Hull City over Rotherham, and I've gone for a 2-1 win to Preston. So far, no agreements in sight.
Yes.
Next on the list is Queen's Park Rangers versus Stoke City.
Queen's Park Rangers at home.
Queen's Park Rangers are at home, yes.
0-2. 0-2.
0-2. He's going for a 2-0 Stoke win. Still not to agree with me. I've gone for 1-1. Our opponents, Watford, will be at home in the midweek game. They are playing Norwich. Chris, what are you saying?
1-0 Watford.
1-0 Watford. I went 2-0 Watford. So you're dodging the bullets. Dodging the bullets here. Blackburn hosting Rooney FC, Birmingham City. It's Blackburn at home to Birmingham.
2-0 Blackburn.
You're dodging me like the plague, mate. I have agreed with you, but I have gone 3-0 Blackburn. Oh, come on, pen. I hate pens. Why are they so crap for?
I'll send you some pens in the post.
Yeah, God, Christmas presents. If anyone's thinking Christmas gifts for me, even though they don't know me or where I live, go for pens.
Yes.
Right now, the team that couldn't beat Rotherham, Leeds United, are at home in the midweek. They are playing the Welsh side that is Swansea.
Ooh.
Leeds at home versus Swansea. And in the Blackburn Birmingham game, I went 3-0. Sorry, just so you know.
2-1
Blackburn. 2-1 Leeds. He's done it again, folks. He's done it again. I went 2-0 Leeds.
My God, close.
I know. Right, I'm going to skip the next one on my list because it is Leicester, who are away to Sheffield Wednesday in the midweek. So keep that in mind when we get back round to it. But I'm going to skip.
It's still on Tuesday.
I think this has gone on to Wednesday now. I would assume with how many fixtures are left.
Yeah.
Because I'm now technically at Sheffield Wednesday versus Leicester, and we play on a Wednesday, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So come on, Grant, change places. There we go. Skipping over the Sheffield Wednesday game. Ironically, we're playing Sheffield Wednesday on a Wednesday. But we're going to go to Southampton, not literally, figuratively here. Yeah. Southampton at home to Bristol City.
3-0 Southampton.
He's done it again, folks. It's like you've read my notes because I've gone for Southampton 4, Bristol City 0. Right then, Sunderland. They are at home to Huddersfield.
Oh, now 1-0 Sunderland.
Well, you had the chance there, Chris. I've done a U, though. I've gone for a Desmond. I've gone for a 2-2.
Oh. Wow.
I have. I've seen nothing to separate the two teams. So the penultimate game on the list, well, on my list, should I say, Ipswich at home to Millwall. Ipswich at home to Millwall.
Now,
Chris?
I'm going to go here. I'm going to do what you've just done. I'm going for a Desmond.
He's gone for a Desmond. Folks, you may experience it. We have the big game, the big midweek game, the only one that ever cares are left. But can Chris make it just one game?
What have you gone for in that one?
Oh, Ipswich. I went for 2-1 Ipswich. So don't worry. But in two game weeks so far, me and Chris have only predicted one result exactly the same. So the last one, the big one, Sheffield Wednesday are at home to Leicester City. Now, for dramatic purposes, Chris, you can go first on this one.
I've gone first on every one.
You didn't. Yeah, I did the Leicester Watford first.
You know what? This would be so typical of Leicester, wouldn't it? But we are better away from home than at home. Generally. If we don't win this, then we need shooting.
Well, there is that.
Do I go with my heart or do I go with my head?
I'd like you to go for a score. That would help me.
My head actually says, believe it or not, my head says 1-1.
What does your heart say?
2-0 to 3-0 to Leicester.
He said 2-0 and then he said 3-0. Well, Chris.
I am chosen. Oh, God, I have a feeling this could be our first draw, but I'm going to go 3-0 Leicester. Final answer.
Final answer. He's locked it in. Okay, well, you said 2-0, then you said 3-0, and then you locked in 3-0. Now, Chris, I can actually do maths despite my record showing to you that I can't when I add up.
You can. No.
No, I know this. Oh, I know this. I don't know how I did it, mate. I don't know how I got the right answer in my head and wrote down the wrong one, but we fixed it between us, and that's what matters. But Chris, I'm going to test your maths now. What is 3 plus 2?
5.
That's exactly how many goals Leicester are going to beat Sheffield Wednesday by, because I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leicester City 5.
Wow. Okay.
So those that said, Brad, you've been audacious this week, a desperate man makes desperate decisions.
We've scored 4 goals in 6. No, we've scored 8 goals in 6 games. That's all right now. Well, if we get our scoring boots back on, you may well be right, sir. You may well be right.
Well, it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, no, but it does. It does indeed. So
yeah, well, there we are, folks. We've come to the end of the show. Hopefully, it's going to be a better one for me than it has been for others. But here we go. Here comes my ugly mug, Chris.
Yep.
We finally got there. It only took us an hour and 15 minutes, which isn't bad at all for a double header.
And I think that's the best way of doing it, because we've got nothing to. I mean, all right, yes. I mean, I've been going off the form table for the midweek games, but a lot can change depending on what happens at the weekend. And it is so desperate for that midweek, so we're just best to run through it like we have done, basically.
Yeah, it works out, because there's no point, because what we'd have to do is you'd have to make you can't even go off the form book, can you? You'd have to look at what you predicted and go, well, if they lose this, that means this, and then that means that. And so we just do it this way. It's off the cuff, and I'm sure everybody in the prediction league does it that way themselves. So we thought, why not just do it a bit round robin and put Chris under the cooker pressure, if you will, the pressure cooker. I'll get my sentence out in the end. But Chris, I know I like to make up new phrases as well as bad maths.
Sorry, Delia Smith. I didn't know we'd turn this into a can't cook, won't cook.
I know. I'm forever making up words and sentences.
Yeah.
Oh dear, but it has been a good show. Chris, I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. And Chris, do you want to take one at the infamous outro that we have on this lovely channel?
Yep, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Who's playing the outro?
Oh, Chris, you're ahead of me in the league. I shall let you do the outros. I shall bid goodbye, and of course, we will see you tomorrow here, won't we, Chris?
We will.
Not bright and early for a change. It's mid-afternoonish. We'll be doing the preview for the watch along.
We will indeed. We will indeed, and we will see you then. Thank you very much, Brad. Have a good one. I'll see you bright-eyed. Well, not bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Until next time, come on, you foxes.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.